All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we're going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux of the New York Giants and his desire to break the all-time sacks record. And I clicked on the wrong link. That's for the next segment when we talk about Patrick Queen. But yeah, it's basically is held by former Giants legend Michael Strahan, of course, 22 and a half sacks, and T.J.Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who tied him. And Kayvon Thibodeaux is looking to, break that record. And I think this is what he said. Yeah, this is what he said. We're just going to start this off. If you were wondering, I'm going for the record, so don't ask. He said jokingly via NJ.com. Every year I'm here, I'm going for Michael Strahan's record. Strahan held the sack record alone for 2 decades after setting the mark during his 2001 Defensive Player of the Year campaign. It was 2021. T.J.Watt tied that record while taking home the same award in 2021. So 20 years later. Thibodeaux had a career-high 11.5 sacks in 2023. Has arguably his best opportunity to date to chase history. And the reason for that, I think he could, have a breakout year and, get close to that number because of what the Giants did this offseason, bringing in Brian Burns to go along with him and Dexter Lawrence. Like I've said, I think the Giants' defensive line is something that fans could look forward to watching. At least that's the one intriguing thing going into the 2024 season is the Giants' defense. Because right now the offense, I don't know what to expect out of the quarterback. I mean, Daniel Jones is confident that he's going to start, but how effective is he going to be? There's no more Saquon Barkley. Devin Singletary had a good year last year, but he's not Saquon Barkley. I mean, you got to be excited, I guess, about Malik Neighbors and what he can accomplish. But I think the more enticing aspect of the team is the defense. And maybe that's what can carry the Giants in 2024 is their defensive line and wreaking havoc on opposing quarterbacks, creating turnovers, giving the offense short field, them cashing in. Again, I had the Giants going 6-11, 7-10. Right, getting around 6-7 wins. I'm not expecting them to be a very good team, but the defense could wreak havoc. And now when you add Brian Burns into the fold, it's going to be, it's going to give some teams, a headache because who are they going to have to double team? Because if they double team Brian Burns, well, then that, gives Thibodeaux an opportunity to get after the quarterback with the one-on-one matchups. And on top of that, you got Dexter Lawrence coming up the middle, too. So this is something that I am looking forward to as a Giant fan, is this defensive line and what it can accomplish. And the Giants really, for the longest time now, they've been trying to get back to how they were with those teams with Strahan, Justin Tuck, O.C. Umenyiora, JPP, all those guys. They're trying to get back to that point. And I feel like they are getting to that point. Because 2016 was kind of like that patchy year where they got Olivier Vernon and Snacks Harrison. And yeah, the Giants went 11-5, but they were a fluky 11-5. Unfortunately, they just were. And that reared its ugly head once they went to Green Bay, took on the Packers, and lost 38-13. And that was Eli Manning's last playoff start. And that was the boat trip game. I feel like the Giants are getting back to that point with that defense. Defense is going to be good. Now, we got to see now how the new defensive coordinator is with Wink Martindale leaving. because that whole situation still, the unraveling of that relationship between Wink and Brian Dable, it's still doesn't really make. I mean, it's just kind of odd how it just all unfolded, but because of the success that they had in 2022, it's like what happened. But yeah, that's what can happen when you do a complete 180 from the previous year. Now the Giants, I would say, did finish the season strong, but now it's a new year. Momentum is not necessarily always going to carry over to the next year. So, but like I said, I expect this defense to give people problems. It's just, for me, is the offense going to be able to generate points? And I just don't have confidence in that because I don't have confidence in the quarterback situation. But, when it comes to Kayvon Thibodeaux, though, he's a good player. And I know, and some people, are all over him early on, like, oh, this guy's a bust. It's just, but he's a good player for them. And he's still only, let's see, he's going to be 24 in December. I mean, there's still room to grow. And yeah, I mean, like, he went from 4 sacks his rookie season to 11.5 sacks in 2023. 2 forced fumbles in 2022. 3 in 2023. Assists went up. Solo tackles were down a little bit. 33 to 26 then last year. So yeah, 50, around the same total tackles. 50 last year, 49 the previous season. But yeah, I think his sack numbers will go up. I think his sack numbers will definitely go up. Because now you're bringing in another pass rusher in Brian Burns. Actually, and let's see what Brian Burns' stats were. So, yeah, he had 8 sacks last year. And then he had 12.5 in 2022. They're going to be able to feed off each other. And actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. But I wanted to look up what their sack total, like just the Giants as like a team. What were their sack totals? So the Giants had 85 sacks during the 2023 NFL regular season. But I wanted to see where... Oh, Giants got sacked the most by a team in 2023 with 85 sacks. Yeah, that's not what we wanted. But hopefully the offensive line has improved, so they aren't one of the most sacked teams in the NFL. We want to see them get sacks, not their own quarterbacks get sacked. But, yeah, I mean, the pass rush should be improved. And I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's just they play in a tough division with the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, the gap is wide between them and those other two teams. So, and those teams got better quarterbacks and better offenses. And we'll see how Washington is. I mean, I know I didn't give them a lot of wins when I did their schedule breakdown, but I mean, if Jaden Daniels is the guy, then the Giants have the 4th or ranked last when it comes to their quarterback situation. I probably would still rank them last. And Jaden Daniels hasn't played down yet in the NFL. But yeah, it's just gonna be another. It's gonna be another down year for the Giants, and you were hoping after 2022 that this was like their turning point. Now, I still think that they're going to get this right and they'll start building back up. But, I mean, until they get the right quarterback, they're kind of going to be, a third, fourth place team in their division. Now, Dak Prescott, he might not be on the Cowboys after this year. And we'll see what the Cowboys end up doing. But, like I said, the gap is still wide between them, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. So, but let me know what you guys think about Thibodeaux. Do you think that he could break the all-time sack record in 2024? Let me know in the comments. So, when we come back from our final break of the show, we'll talk about Patrick Queen of the Pittsburgh Steelers, his reasoning for signing with the Steelers, and that is what we'll talk about when we come back from our final break. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.